right, I think we should get started here. It's now 2:01. Thanks everyone for showing up to Together Tuesdays. My name is Kevin Vogel. I'm going to be your host today. And today we have a brand new announcement from Chris Pyle, the president of Sirius MessageOps division. And I think you'll be really excited about that. Chris, say hello to everyone.
Hello, everyone.
And I also have Melissa and Alexander on the phone here. These are your client success advisors. These are the ones that are going to be able to help you adopt the technology that we're going to be bringing up today. And these are the guys that I'm sure you work with all the time. So say hello, guys.
Hey, everybody. Welcome.
Alex, you there?
There's the mute button. Hi, everyone.
Okay, good. So, you know, it is technology, but he's better at it than not knowing to push the mute button. I'm only kidding, Alex. I'm only kidding. All right. So today we're going to be going through our brand new product called Inscape Anomaly. And I think, you know, Chris Pyle, this is his baby. I think you'll see he's really excited about this. We're also going to be talking about something new in Teams called Viva. And it's actually on its way to being released. You'll see that there's a couple of pieces to the puzzle that are already out there that you can start using. We're going to talk about a couple things that are coming out in the Microsoft roadmap, specifically with Teams. So with that, let's get right into this. So Inscape Anomaly. Chris, give us a quick overview of what Anomaly is before you take over and give us a presentation.
Okay, yeah, so good afternoon, everybody, and thank you guys so much for being part of the MessageOps and Sirius CSP family. So many of you are either in Azure or considering to move workloads to Azure. And let me tell you what's happened. We have had many calls in the past that have called us saying, why the hell is my Azure bill so high? And we've seen this, you know, numerous times where something happens within the customer's Azure environment, right, Kevin? We've seen things where somebody had a runaway query and it just started, you know, sucking up compute resources. We had another example where a customer was supposed to run a batch job once a month, but instead they set it up to run once a week. And again, we had another one with an employee who left, a disgruntled employee, spun up a bunch of resources, didn't tell anybody. And all three of those incidences, nobody realized what the cost was going to be until the bill or invoice actually came. And that's when everybody's like, what the hell happened? So, you know what they say, Kevin, right? Necessity is the mother of
invention. Yeah, and I'll tell you, Chris, I had a call today with a customer talking just about this, but he was talking about virtual desktops and having, you know, hundreds of virtual desktops out there. It's really hard to monitor what they're doing on there, and you know, applications can get away from you and really start eating up resources.
Yeah, so this is what we built Anomaly on. So Inscape Anomaly is free. Is included.
Whoa! Stop. It's what?
Well, it's included for all of our Microsoft CSP customers in our fee. So it's included and it's brand new. And really, what Inscape Anomaly does is it uses machine learning and AI that monitors your consumption patterns on a daily basis. Everybody's consumption patterns are different. So yours will be unique and it will learn that. It will then notify you of any cost anomalies in your Azure environment. And it really gets down and it will track from the subscription level down to a resource group and actually all the way down to the granular level of an individual resource such as a VM.
So Chris, let me ask you a question. When you install this, how long does it take to learn?
Well, what we've set it up for, Kevin, it runs in a multi-tenant environment right now. And what it does is it goes back and looks at your past 60 days worth of Azure consumption. And that's where it starts the process of its learning, is from 60 days prior to you downloading it.
So it's got a history already.
It's got 60 days worth of history. When we move it to the Azure App Marketplace, you'll be able to choose how far back you want it to go, to start its learning. But for right now, in this multi-tenant environment, it starts with 60 days. And the other thing it does, just real briefly, not only does it alert you of any anomaly, of any cost anomaly, but it's also going to alert you if there is a addition or a subtraction of resources to and from your Azure environment. And it also helps you, based upon its learnings, it will help you predict your budget and forecast. So if you want, Kevin, I can just jump.
I'm going to stop sharing my desktop, and Chris, share yours. Let's see what this looks like.
Yep, sounds great. So probably a lot of you are familiar with the Inscape dashboard, because since all of you guys are our CSP. So there's going to be a new one on here. It's called Anomaly. It says beta, but the truth is that we've just came out of beta yesterday, so we're going to remove these signs here. But so far, all the beta customers, I want to thank all of them who have been working with us to work out some of the bugs in the UI. So thank you all. But it's right here. You'll be able to click on this button, and there is basically a 3-step process in which it will walk you through, how to, turn on Anomaly. We are asking, some people might be asking, well, what type of, what type of, access do you need? And we don't need much at all, to be truthful with you, Kevin, because all we're doing is just reading your cost. That's all we're doing. Is the machine learning is getting applied just to the cost. So we're not asking for any Azure God rights or any super admin. It's just really, really simple.
So we're just looking at consumption numbers.
We're just looking at the consumption and the cost of that consumption.
Oh, okay.
So it's just a reader view that we're asking. But it will take you just a few minutes to set up, nothing challenging, trust me. But then when you get back, you can go ahead and you'll be able to click right on Anomaly, and we'll bring you to the Anomaly dashboard. And so let's just run through this real quick for all of you. So the first thing, as Kevin mentioned before, is that you can, pick, which subscriptions you want to, take a look at. And that's the other thing, Kevin. If you were wondering, hey, listen, I don't want to set it up for every Azure subscription that I have. I only want to set it up for, 5 or 10 or whatever. When you're going through the 3-step process to sign up, that's where it will be asked which ones do you want to, which subscriptions you want. So you don't have to do your whole environment. You can just do, one subscription, or if you have 1,000, you can do all 1,000 subscriptions. Completely up to you.
You also said you could just do a resource group or even an individual resource if you want.
Yeah, that's correct. We're going to get down and show that in a minute. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pick Discovery Scout as one of our subscriptions for this demo. And just so for a few things, you can see that you can go back in time if you want. As far, you can go back, you can do anything you want with that in that regard. And so you can see what the cost is, and then we give you a forecast of what the cost is going to be. And you'll notice over here, there's some things in here that we're looking at the Inscape. We're looking at the resource groups, in here, and you can go through each one, and you can look at where those are. You can look at the resources, and we also bring into your attention, how much you're spending in each Azure location. But the interesting thing is here is that you'll see the green line And this is where you're supposed to be spending, okay? And then you'll notice here the red and the black, where what's happening here is these are actual anomalies based upon how you set this up with the machine, okay? So what's important is that you can, to your point, let me jump over here real quick, Kevin. Let me jump over to settings. Here is where you can set the detection sensitivity of the machine learning. So in other words, you might not be, you might not care as much about, ups and downs in the individual resources as, you might be. So you might want to say, you know what, I'm going to be not that sensitive. I'm going to, pick a low, sensitivity to that resource. But as you get up, maybe I want to be on the overall resource group. I want to be a little bit more sensitive to the whole resource group, because that's, it's a little bit more expensive. And then ultimately at the overall subscription, Kevin, you might say, look, I want to be highly sensitive to the overall subscription. Because if
so that means when it goes out just a little out of balance, you'll get a notice instead of down at the bottom where it has to go a lot?
That's correct. Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Right. Exactly. So you're setting up the machine sensitivity, the machine learning, and you can do it based on all three of these. So now that's what's, really going to show you that graph. And then you can say, look, I only want to be alerted when it's higher, if the anomaly is higher than whatever dollar, we just put $3 in here, but you can put any dollar amount you want in here of, I want to be only notified if it's only $50, higher than 50, or if for some reason it falls below $3, what's going on? That's not normal. You can be alerted, and you can set up those alerts all the way through.
Is that a monthly number, Chris?
No, that's a good question. We look at this on a daily consumption, and you're notified. I think it's within the hour of after we run the analysis of the anomalies. So it's a daily inspection.
So worst case scenario, you know about it no later than a day later.
That's correct. That is correct. You'll be notified a day later, not 30 days later when you get your bill. And you can send this up to 3 people within your organization. You will get an anomaly alert, up to 3 people within the organization. So that's how you set it up. Pretty simple. I mean, we can make it harder if you wanted to, but it's pretty darn simple. And again, you can have, different users in here of who you want to have access to this. But I want to go back to the alerts, Kevin, just real quick. And I think we were using Discovery Scout. So when you see this here, okay, this is what it was learning, and this is what you set up the boundaries to be, and this is where they're starting to jump out of there. So that's a real challenge. And as you said, Kevin, you could look at all subscriptions, resource groups. You can search by, multiple different things. You can search by if you're tagging. You can search by, or by anomalies. I want to see everything that was created. I want to see everything that was deleted. You could do any of those things here. But let's say you wanted to come into here, and you can see that this product right here, this cognitive services, you know what? We had a notification within the Inscape production, and we can get into the actual details, and we can see like what was going on. There was an update here. And we can get into here and we can see what the old value is versus the new value, which is interesting. And then if you wanted, you could even get down lower and say, I want to see within this subscription, this anomaly detector, who did what. And so you can actually get down and look at what the author of who, who did.
So you can see who made the change that affected your bill.
The anomaly, that's exactly
right.
Correct. And you can come in here and again, look at what it was and what it turned into be. And then again, you can search by, different names. You can search by, I want to look at, every time, this person, well, Eric, created something in here. We didn't have that, but there was no creations. But I think you guys get the gist of it, of what happens within that. So it's really a great thing, because you never want to be surprised, by your Azure bill. That is like the worst thing that can possibly happen. And we here at MessageOps and Sirius, wanted to deliver something to our customer base within CSP that would be alerting. And again, it doesn't cost you anything as being part of your Azure CSP. Now, let me ask a few questions that you might be thinking of. You might ask yourself, hey, Chris, doesn't Microsoft have Azure cost management tools? And the answer is absolutely. We know this, Kevin, right? Absolutely. We know it. And we know that, Microsoft has something called Azure budgeting, and they have something called budget alerting. So you might be asking yourself, well, Chris, if I have Azure budgeting with alerts to the budget, why would I want Anomaly? Well, it's a really good question. And many of our customers who called us to complain about why was their Azure bill so high, all of them had budgeting and alerting set up. But they had a budget that they didn't put in, right, Kevin? That every time it went up 1% towards the accumulation of the budget, that they would get notified. They would say, notify me when I'm at 25% of budget, or notify me when I'm at 50% of budget. But meanwhile, right, Kevin, every day that goes by, they're consuming an anomalies happening that is not getting to 25% of budget, but it's still consuming resource and ranking up your bill that the budget really can't see, because you're telling it it's more of a static thing, right, rather than reading what's really going on. And you don't want to put a budget to alert me every time it gets up above, okay, we're going to start at 1%. Notify me when it gets to 2%, and then 3%.
Well, then you start ignoring those alerts, right?
You're going to start ignoring those alerts, and you're going to try to set that up for every subscription, with every resource group. So the combination, Kevin, of Microsoft's budgeting alerting, the whole cloud adoption framework and the best practices there, we're not saying, hey, you don't need that. That's not what we're saying. But if you really want to make sure that you're never going to get surprised, you want to add Anomaly to it. And again, the price is right for all of our Microsoft customers. Another value to our CSPs.
Hey, Chris and Kevin, we do have a question that's come in off the record here. Can I pose that to you now and see if this is
Please, let's do this.
Absolutely, let's do this.
So this was just emailed to me from our friend Caleb. He was wondering, how can Inscape Anomaly improve over the budget alerts, which we already set up natively within Azure Cost Management? He gets alerts when it's 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100% of budget. That was his first question.
Right. So I think I just answered that.
You did just answer that one, Chris. So
yeah,
perfect.
So Caleb, that was a really good question. And you're right. What we're doing is you're going to get notified at 25%, 50%. But what happens if it's only up 10%, but it's 10% every day?
It's 10% over 10% over 10%.
Right. I mean, we want to notify you immediately so you don't spend that extra 10%. And yeah, Caleb, so yeah, this works. And again, I'm not trying to say you don't want that, because Caleb, congratulations, you're following best practices. What we're saying is that the combination of the two is like wearing pants and suspenders, okay? Just in case. I hope that's a good, but I'm just saying is that we are actually monitoring it where you might not have hit your 25% budget, but there's an anomaly that we've recognized through machine learning that you will bring to your attention. Thank you, Kevin. Good question.
Thank you. The second question that he had, it appears that they're going to have to create a user for this. What RBAC roles will they need to be assigned to the cost anomaly user who will not be a global admin?
Yes. You know what we're going to do here? If you give me just a few minutes, I have to find maybe, hey, you know what, Melissa, while we're waiting, why don't you pull up what Robin put together? There's a little video that maybe we can go through. Yes, you are correct. We are not giving, like you said, Azure global admin rights. There's a cost management reader. There's 2 reader consents that need to be done. I think it's cost and then consumption reader only. But Caleb, we have a nice simple video and instructions when you're going through the next that it will explain to you exactly what that is. And maybe before this is over, I will find that video and we'll go through it. I apologize. I should have had that for this meeting. Good question, Caleb. We will get you that answer, but it's very minimal admin rights, and you do set up a separate instance, not an instance. I forgot what they call it.
Account.
Yeah, it's not an account. I forgot what they call it. I apologize.
But you could set up an account without having to assign a license when it comes to costs.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
So you can just create an account, Caleb, and call it whatever you want, assign the right rights, and you're off and running.
Yeah, but they don't call it an account. It's something else. Anyway, I'll get it before the end of the day. Before the end of this meeting, I'll get the video and bring it up, and we can end with that, Caleb. So give me just a few minutes, and I'll get that for you. I should have had that at the ready. Shame on me.
Thanks, Chris. I'm going to take back over the screen here from you just so we can stay on pace here for everyone. So as you can see, Inscape is always coming out with new things, but so is Microsoft when it comes to Teams. So their newest release, the thing that is really almost hot off the presses, is Microsoft Viva. And it really is that employee experience platform that they've been actually developing since the beginning of Teams. They've just now broken it down really into 4 different areas that are going to be rolled out over time. Some of them are already here, believe it or not. I'm actually going to show you some of them that are already available to you, some that's coming over the next 6 to 8 months. And really, it comes down to topics, like we talked about. Those are knowledge and experience type of events, connections, being able to connect with applications, culture, communications. Then there's insights, and that's already available. I'll show you how to actually put that into your environment today. And that really has to do with productivity, well-being, giving you alerts or heads up on things that you have in the pipeline. And then learning, which is a skills and growth type of environment that's going to be built into Teams. So if we take a look at this employee experience, which is what they're really calling it now, and that's kind of a new term out there, they're really going to give Teams that full-featured, full-bodied experience that employees can actually fine-tune and use, just like Chris was talking about, AI and business intelligence, and it's in the background going to be giving these people the information they need. As you probably know, people spend about an hour a day just looking for information, not reading it, just looking for where they can find it. And this type of new experience that comes with Viva is going to eliminate that by using AI and business intelligence to make sure that those things are at their fingertips all the time. So if you take a look at knowledge, this is the Viva topics, this is what we're talking about, where it's going to actually give them information that they need, that they've been looking at or looking for over the last couple of days, couple of hours, and make sure that all that information is there. And it really is a way to have that content ready and usable, and they really do use AI to bring this into everyone's everyday life. This is something that there is going to be a cost behind this, $5 a month per user to get this type of information. And again, it comes on your phone, it comes in all of the clients. It does require that you have at least an F1 license. So whether you have an F1 or an E1, if you have an academic license like an A3 or an A5. So you do need some of those type of licenses, but if you're that business basic or business standard or business premium, all those things will come with that. And if you're using the K, like the kiosk type things, plan 1 and 2, they're eligible for topics also. So you got to remember that you can't just have like Exchange online license and this will work. There's also connections, and this is really keeping everyone that has the same interests, the same job title, the same information that you're requesting, in touch with each other instead of doing the same thing over and over again. This will give them the ability to share more easily the content that they're developing with people that are going to use the content just like them. So real easy way to actually take this content and put it on your desktop when you need it. Now, this has not been rolled out yet. It's coming out for the desktop in the first half of 2021, more towards the end of the year for the mobile devices. And then they're going to always be rolling out new features as time goes on. Learning, and this is one of the really cool things. This is a way to make learning part of your everyday life. A lot of people only take classes because they're made to, or because it's part of their job. This is going to make learning fun. It's going to also bring up learning around topics that it's learned in the other part of Viva. So it really is that AI that we're talking about to really use Teams to help your people get better at what they do and give them more productivity over time. And you could see there is going to be more lessons and things, but they're also going to make sure that these lessons are put in the right order for those people so that you're not scrolling through 8,000 to try to find the one thing that you're looking for. And then insights. And this is something that's actually rolled out right now. In fact, if I go to my Teams client here, you'll see that Insights is installed in my Teams environment right now. And it's telling me right now, I can actually let Ralph Wilkes know that, that was done. And I can actually complete a lot of my to-dos. And they're all right here, very easy to find. You can also put in here and protect time. If you want to put focus time to focus on certain things, you can just book the time right here and make sure that somebody else doesn't grab the time on your calendar. And this is available right now. Oh, I should probably show you. If you go down here and go into your app section here, just go into more apps, type in Insights, and you can actually add it to your Teams environment very easily, and it's free. It doesn't cost anything for you to start taking advantage of it. So let's talk about the Microsoft roadmap here real quick, and then we'll open it up to some questions. One of the big things with Teams that's coming out, and in fact, it's supposed to be released here in March, is the ability to do webinars, just like you can with a lot of the other platforms that are out there. I know that right now you have Teams meetings and you have live events, but you're now going to have an option to do webinars. Webinars will create an enrollment page for you that you can customize. It will also enroll these people in the webinar, and this can go up to tens of thousands of people built into your Teams environment to do webinars. Great product. Actually going to, like I said, coming out this month. One of the big features that is coming out right away. Also, I don't know if you saw this, but now there's Power Apps for the desktop. So you can actually download a full version of Power Apps to run right on your desktop, create workflows and automation to help you do your everyday job, and it's free. You can download it today from the Microsoft site. All you have to do is go in and search for it. So we are going to be having a couple more of these next week and the week after, where we're going to be talking about the license and assign widget that's built into Inscape. We're going to be talking about Teams calling, and that's another thing that has really taken off inside of Teams. And then to finish for this month, we're going to be talking about the MSKU, or the Microsoft 365 licensing, and what you get with it. And we're going to talk about the value calculator and show you how much value you can get out of the Microsoft licensing that you already own. So with that, I'm just going to open this up to anyone that wants to ask a question. Melissa, we have any questions out there?
There's a question from
Desmond has a question, yes.
Yeah, will the webinars be free? I think.
Well, I mean, I'll take donations, but they're free. I'm only kidding. Yes, they are absolutely free.
Yeah, great. The other thing I just wanted to bring back up real quick, if you don't mind, I wanted to just share, because somebody had a question regarding the anomaly sign up when you're going through it. And this is all in the step 1, 2, 3. You do need to add an Inscape Anomaly service account, in order to get Inscape Anomaly to run. You would go in, hit subscription, select, number 3, select access control, select plus, add a role assignment here. And then when you're going down to add the role assignment, can you see this, Kevin, or should I make it bigger?
Yeah, no, you're looking good, Chris.
Yeah.
You can zoom in, but I could see it.
And you can add a role assignment, and you can see the only thing that we're asking for is you would just type in, cost management reader, and that's all you're going to click on is that cost management reader. That's really it. So it's pretty darn simple to set up there, but we do need a service account from that perspective in order to get that working.
Desmond wanted to know if this works on Office 365, which it doesn't, Desmond. This is an Azure tool, but we can absolutely help you with that value calculator to help you better manage your Office 365 subscriptions.
No, but I do want to say that Desmond's asking a very good question. A lot of people have asked this before. So what we have heard from you guys loud and clear is, hey, look, you guys have a lot of great reports, but we need alerting within Inscape around Microsoft 365. So we are working on that, ladies and gentlemen. It is coming. We will be having alerting around all the reports. So that is coming. But again, just really quickly around Anomaly, for those of you who are interested in signing up, you do come out, and this is all in the step-by-step guide. Again, Azure, but that's another thing, Kev. You have to set the password never to expire, because if it expires for this service account, then Inscape Anomaly will stop working. But it does have cost management, a reader, and it's really simple. It's step 1, 2, and 3. Then you can select which subscriptions, resource groups, and resources you want to be set, and you're golden. So it's literally set up the service account, then next, you should be good. So thank you, Kevin.
You got it. I don't see any more questions. We appreciate your time. We know we're a few minutes over today. This recording will be available. We'll make sure that everyone that signed up for the webinar series gets a link to the recording, just in case you want to share it with any of your colleagues. We're going to be in this same spot next week, 2 o'clock on Tuesdays, for now until they cancel the show, which, we're trying to make it go an hour, but I don't know if the network's going to let that happen. I'm only kidding, by the way. But you guys have a great day today. If you need help, we're here for you. Just reach out. Have a great day.
Great webinar, guys. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.